Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. This is our weekly episodes, and this episode of It Takes a Village. By the way, I'm Dyon. Welcome back. This week features Stacy Pleaze. Get it, girl. Stacy and I met a few years ago. I think it's been about 4 years now.
Yeah,
it's
2013.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Stacy and I met a while back at a sister circle, and we kept in touch over the years. And ironically, keeping in touch kind of paid off in a way because we've become sisters in more ways than one. So Lupus has kind of bonded us over the course of the past, is it a year now? Yeah. So we've had a lot more to talk about in the past year since she's been diagnosed. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit more about what's going on with that, because I know your journey started way longer than a year ago, but there's some twists and turns to this, and we want to share the story and just educate people on what's going on with you. So tell us when you were diagnosed and what you were diagnosed with initially.
Okay. Hey, it's me again. Please forgive me. And I say that because I started to get all dolled up because that's who Stacy used to be. Being able to show up the way I needed to, when I needed to, how I needed to for whoever and whatever I needed to. And that changed. That changed dramatically. I call her Queen D. And that's because she has always been that open heart person that loved, and you can see it beyond the surface. So I always respect her as Queen D. And I appreciate this opportunity because it's new for me. In 2000 and I want to say 4 or 5, I got this very, very large bald spot on my head. I don't know if you can see this.
Let's see if I could adjust the camera a little bit.
See it?
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
So that was part 1 of, hey, I thought I took my braids out and I thought I dyed my hair too quick. We come up with all these, we
always try to diagnose ourselves.
Yeah, it wasn't right. And that wasn't the truth. And we know our bodies, so we knew it was something different. So I left it for a minute, and then I started speaking to my primary care physician, who immediately said he wanted me to go to a dermatologist. I got to the dermatologist. The doctor walked into the room and looked at my scalp and said, "Oh, you have lupus." Now, I didn't know much about lupus that day, and nor did it sound like a cute word to just throw out and walk out the room. But that's exactly what she did and how she left me. Scared, fearful of what is this word? What does it mean? Because sometimes you hear things, but if it's not at your door, you don't understand it. And It's never really been that I knew of at that time at my door. So she did a biopsy. And the biopsy came back inconclusive, which you'll hear with lupus and autoimmunes apparently awareness with a lot of different people, that we have to go through so many tests. We have to go through so many maybes. We have to go through so many things changing on our lab works that it was inconclusive. And at that point, all I really had was a bald spot. And I felt like, I'm okay with that. And I kept it moving. But she did send me to a rheumatologist.
Okay.
And the rheumatologist was the doctor that deals with autoimmune disorders. At this time, I'm still new at this. I'm still educating myself because I barely spell rheumatologist correctly half the time. But I
don't
did
we
not
all
know
thank God for
what they
check.
did, who they were, or what they meant. When I got there, the person asked me, and let's just say I was fighting this whole thing because it was scary. It was scary. So if I did feel an ache or pain, I made it as minimum as possible, which never do that. So they were saying, well, they want to know about my joints and things. And I'm pretty good at the point. I can move my joints and my legs. And I even got down and started flexing for them like I'm good. And I got scared because they said, well, we can give you a prescription. And I said, I'm thinking, okay, you give me some antibiotics and I'll be good. Give me 10 days. I said, I'll take this 10 days and I'm good.
Right.
I'm
Not
good,
knowing.
right? Yeah, That doctor told me for the rest of your life is what they said. I said, no, ma'am. No, sir. You won't be giving me that. And I turned it down.
Wow.
I said, because if you can't tell me for certain that I have this disorder, I'm still trying to figure out if it's a disease or a disorder. I'm still new to this. Then I'm not going to take it. And I didn't. And I don't know if I did myself harm or good, but there was something in my body at that time that I was aware of. And I got to go back, because not only did he send me to the dermatologist because of my scalp, he did blood work. And my ANA kept being positive.
That's a red flag.
Okay. And he said that, well, the ANA could be positive and you not have lupus, but if the other antibody come back positive, then you definitely have lupus. Only my ANA was positive at that point. Or they didn't look that far. Either way, I still didn't know what they was talking about.
They never bothered to explain beyond that.
No, I never knew, until it forced me to educate myself. Throughout the years, I guess I experienced things and symptoms that I wasn't aware of.
Right.
And like today, my daughter will say, well, Mom, you don't remember when you was shut down all weekend and your body was hurting and you couldn't get up and you didn't know why you was sick? She named about 3 different times over a period of years that this was happening.
Wow.
That I didn't pay attention to, because I'm like, well, I work all the time. I'm tired.
You thinking it's just tired from work.
Yeah, I'm just tired. The next time I wind up seeing, years went past, but I always told every doctor about the mark on my head and about the positive, and they still not know. I still didn't do any research on it at this point, because I didn't want to.
You were scared.
I was very scared, and
Right.
I didn't want to deal with it, because then I would have to understand it, then it would have to be mine, and then it would have to be a part of me, and I wasn't ready for that. So I wound up going to North Carolina from D.C. with a couple people that I had just met, and in a car ride, if you know, it's about 6 hours.
I got folks in North Carolina.
I don't know what happened that day, but my body gave out.
Ooh.
My knees my joints just ached so bad. I didn't know, I've never experienced it like this before. And I just fell over. Like I could not sit up. And they were scared. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on, but something triggered my body, and it just shut down to where I could not even come to. Now, of course, I'm thinking I was breathing and things like that, but it really, from the trip, most of the trip, I was out of it. I was out of it. So it's still not knowing what was going on. I figure it could have been a part of that.
Right.
We got to North Carolina. I was in the bed the whole time, and I was going there to help them. No, I did get up. I did get up to help them, but I was weak. My energy I'm 150 on energy most days.
Yes, she is.
However, when I tell you my life has changed tremendously, that day I was on probably about 40%. All I had was, I'm here to offer. And so it scared me. And so we did what we needed to do, and they wanted to get me back home.
Right.
And so I got home, and I went to see my doctor, who was a wonderful doctor at the time. And she did these tests, again, positive ANA. I didn't know you're supposed to look further than that, but apparently you are, because there's some tests now. I'm the driver of my health, because if you leave it to someone else that's very busy and have a whole lot of people they're dealing with, sometimes things get missed, and I can't do that anymore.
You have to be your own advocate.
You do, on so many levels. And you have to know what you're talking about, because if not, you're going to be sick. So I got back and I went to another rheumatologist. This time I'm in Maryland. The first time that lady was in South Carolina. And this rheumatologist asked me the same questions. I went in there. I was still strong. I wanted my 150. I like my energy. I like being able to go. You know, sometimes I find 28 hours in a day. This is the Stacy I remember. not so long ago, I remember her like pushing myself to extreme moments.
I would tell you to calm down and slow down, didn't I?
You did several times. But the me in me likes to fight, and that's because I used to have my body fighting with me.
Not against you.
And that's gone. Yeah. It's gone if we're not healthy. So the second doctor put steroids in my knees were hurt and then swelled, and they took fluid out of my knees, and they sticking me. She gave me a cortisone shot. She gave me a pack of steroids that totally shut my body down.
Jesus.
The day I took them.
I'm rubbing my knees because I could feel your pain.
That I hit the ground so hard, like I don't even know what was happening. It was a scary thing because, again, no real answers. They did some work. She got the fluid. She gave me a shot. She gave me the pills, and I attempted to take them. But I had to do something bigger than that. My friend girl's a pastor, so I went to North Carolina again. On my way to her house, I don't know if I was walking from Walmart or something. My body just gave out again. Bam! Hit the floor. Hit my knees. The steroids start messing up my system and messing up my cycle. It just, as good as it could be, it wasn't good for me. So I get to my friend girl's house, and she prayed over me because I still wasn't going to do it. I still wasn't ready for it. And from that moment, I said, I'm better. I even go back to the doctors. I even go back. So I said, if I'm sick, they need to call me because I ain't calling them. And that was my mindset about this thing. That most times when we're fearful of something, we don't want to go and pick it up because then we got to be responsible for what comes with it.
Right.
So I didn't go back ever. But I kept having episodes like that. Like I was saying, my daughter was reminding me when it finally came down to it that something was going on.
So you were falling out a lot because your knees would literally give out.
I would fall out, or I would have that days worth of, like I could just fall over. Like I would say, to me, it was like, it felt like well, I ain't never been on drugs, but it felt like an addict. Like when they just go, I was out of it.
They don't even pass out though. They just go way down and then come back up.
No, I wasn't. Ain't no coming back up.
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, what you're describing is the kind of fatigue that many of us with lupus and other autoimmune diseases experience. It's the kind of fatigue that you really can't control. It controls you. It takes over every fiber of your being, and it just hits you like out of nowhere. It comes on so fast, and it just takes you out. That's what I'm so glad that you can explain that kind of fatigue in that way, because when we say that we're tired, people say, oh, I'm tired too because I just worked a long day. No, it's that kind of fatigue that will just smack you and have you laid out on the floor somewhere. So I'm glad,
like me on the floor.
I'm glad that you can explain it that way. That's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm gonna let her keep talking and explain that, because when we say we're tired,
it's not.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, it's in your mind, and your body fights.
Yeah, and you think you could keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, and eventually your body was like, all right, boom.
Yeah, that's probably how I was on the floor about 3 weeks ago. So fast forward, I guess I might have seen the lesions come and go in my head a little bit more than I would care to say. I would say that I would get them, besides the big one, that's just been there since that day.
Since 2004?
2004.
Okay.
But I get smaller patches around my head that'll come, like it'll come and feel like something, it'll start getting slippery, and then it'll have this a purple spot,
right, and then it will go,
then it'll go away. And I didn't, sometimes you don't want, you like,
I used to get those too, and I would ignore them, and I didn't know what it was. And then when I would go to the hair salon, they would, some of them were kind of scornful, didn't want to do your hair because it's like, ill, what did you do? You haven't been taking care of your scalp, when that really wasn't it. Yeah, so I know what you were talking about.
Yeah, I still don't know why it does that.
that's just part of the disease.
Does that mean we're flared up when that
usually
happens?
when you get those situations, you're flaring.
Okay.
And I think that I haven't been to the dermatologist yet because whenever I get it, it doesn't last long enough for me to get to the doctor for them to see it.
I take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do the next time because I normally get them around here. So when I get it, it's like by the time I can get an appointment, it's gone. So what am I going for? You won't be able to see anything for you to give me anything for it. So I know people that have gotten shampoo and some type of
I
ointment.
had a biopsy and they still. No, I don't know because they were there. Like I don't know why my stuff is extensive. Like it won't it'll come like they came, but. I don't know because now I have
everybody's situation is different, and that's what I was about to ask you because that's another thing. People get lesions on their face,
which been here for June will be maybe a year that this has been here.
Yeah, people get different lesions on their face.
On my face.
On their face, on their legs, arms, on their chest, on their back, anywhere. So because it's skin related, you could get it anywhere on your skin. So that's the thing. Lupus is so hard to treat. So the fact that you even got a diagnosis is like one good step. But now the next step is how can we treat it? So that's probably where you're at. What kind of medicine do they give you for
well the thing about it was I got lupus. I got a care pack. I
said a care pack.
I said only my God would give me something real.
Wait a minute, I don't have a care pack. I gotta hear this because I don't have a care pack. They only gave me 2 things and then they took me off of 1. Let me hear this.
I think when I think I called. I don't know if I called you before I went to the doctors or after, but
I think it was both, before and after we had talked.
It was the 30 plus pounds. Just I didn't even know. I guess I did know. It wasn't to my pants. Just fell down, buckled, just fell down off of me.
Right.
And I really looked at my body. Did I realize I seen the lesions? I knew I was tired. Stuff was changing. I started getting body aches, and this happened. I would say it started the time that this came. Pain that I can't explain it. It's like hot needles, hot needles on fire inside my body, sticking in every part of my body, and there's no way to cool it down. I've tried. I done got real creative with some things like, put a cool rag on it, or maybe sometimes you just want to lay there and hope it go away. And it don't work. And you say, okay, so that's when I do the mind thing. Okay, say you stress. And the thing is how do this new me, how do I be with my new me? Because I did finally go to the doctors in September. And she tests me. I say test me for everything. I don't care what it is. You need to figure this thing out. Again, unfortunately, my doctor came back like I had a bad cold. Like, oh, you just need to, your vitamin D low. Your ANA so positive. My ANA been positive. But what she didn't tell me was that she did go further with this test. Now, my test came back with my RNP flaming red. I just big
explain real quick what an RNP is.
It's what I know is it the
Raynaud's?
Yes. When I did the research on it, what I got of it is this is positive alone by itself, which is what mine was.
Okay.
That I have a rare autoimmune disorder called mixed connective tissue disorder. And if something else would have been flaming up on there, it would have been something else. But because that was the only thing on there, this is what I got.
So we got the lupus, we got the mixed connective tissue disorder, and that's why it's so hard to treat because a lot of times, and I always joke and say, if you got one autoimmune disease, you got another one. It's like Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. You got one. Like, come on, how many is it? A lot of people have more than one autoimmune disease in their body, so it's not uncommon.
And that's what mine is.
It's not uncommon to have more than one autoimmune disease. The only thing now is like what what type of medicine? Do they have you on Plaquenil? Do they have you on prednisone?
And no, they have. Well, we started. The doctor sent me to. I had a biopsy.
Okay.
They cut me 2 places in my head, and they said it was inflammation of the follicles, which is when I begin to really understand my test. Everything is inflammation.
Okay.
Everything in my body is inflamed. That the rheumatologist told me that I had mixed connective tissue disorder. He kind of threw it out there again real quick.
They normally
I looked
do.
it up.
Right.
Which mixed connective tissue disorder is a combination plan. That's what I was saying. It has lupus, scleroderma, and myo something, where we get, these fancy things going on with our fingers. My fingers get really, really cold, just random. It can be hot outside, like 90s right now. And then, but my fingers will get really, really cold, and then they'll get purple, and then they'll turn white. And then for years it was doing it, and I never knew what it was.
You don't really have a name for it until something happens. Yeah.
And you say, "Oh, I thought that was cute," and it really wasn't cute.
No, I didn't think it was cute when mine happened. I didn't think that was cute when it happened. It was annoying. It was painful. They tingle. I don't think nothing about that is
It
cute.
was different.
Yeah, you're like, something ain't right. Y'all
different.
need to tell me what's going on. Yeah, so
If you want to look for it.
yeah, but
I wasn't looking.
That's part of what I talked to you about before. Is like, you can be scared and run from it, but in the meantime, while you're running, things are progressing, and it's progressing in the wrong direction. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on and talk with me about this, because there's so many people out there who are scared, who are going through some of the things that you're going through, and I don't want anybody to be fearful to the point where you run away from a diagnosis that you've been given, because you've been given a diagnosis. That's not a death sentence. It's letting you know that something is out of order in your body, and now you have a job to get it back in order. Okay, so you have a new normal. Your life has been changed.
Yes, it has.
Your life has been changed, but it's not going to be changed for the worse. You still have time to fix it. Yes, it's upsetting. You're going to have to process it. I had to go to therapy to get my mind right, because I was like, oh, I'm going to die. That was my initial thought.
Yeah, mine's too.
But I had to wrap my mind around the fact that not because my cousin who was diagnosed with lupus died in her 30s didn't mean that I was going to die in my 30s. So it's about your mindset. Lupus is about the mind, body, and spirit, and your physical working together. So if you have that mindset that you're going to die, you probably will, because you won't take care of yourself like you're supposed to. Self-care is so important. So if you're out there, a lot of the stuff that Stacy shared with you, it comes down to fear. Yeah. And I told her this, ahead of time. I was like, you could be scared, but in the meantime, while you're scared, you still got to do the work. So I'm glad that she finally went back to the doctor and, did everything that she's supposed to do in terms of getting her health back on track. It's so many things out there that you can read and get yourself in order while you're waiting for a diagnosis, while you're waiting for your doctor to tell you what's coming. You know what you're feeling. And I'm not saying go to Dr. Google and drive yourself crazy either, but at least learn about the disease. Don't be fearful.
Education was important.
Yeah, don't be fearful, because you don't want to be so fearful where you do nothing, because doing nothing sometimes can be so detrimental, and you don't want to get to the point where you have a situation that you can no longer control. So before we sign off, I just want to say, don't let fear run your life.
No. Take your medicine.
Take care of yourself and take your medicine.
Go to your doctor.
Even if you don't believe in the medicine that the doctor gives you, find a natural source that you can tap into and use that.
I have a lot of that. And then they give that to us. With
the doctors do give you a leeway.
Yoga, I'm in yoga. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, I'm in yoga. I have PT, physical therapy.
That's also very important.
Acupuncture.
I haven't tried that yet. I heard that's pretty good.
And it helps me because, like you said, I think the mental part of it.
It's very important.
I was angry.
If your spirit is broken, that is stress on your body. Yeah. If you have stress on your body, then your body is going to continue to fight itself. Lupus already fighting you. Why you want to fight you some more? You got the gloves up. No. So sometimes we got to learn to pick our battles. Yeah. And when I say pick your battles, before we sign off, just listen. Don't pick another fight that you can't win. Pick a fight that you could win. Like, look, I'm going to fight this disease every single day. And the way I fight is I'm going to get up and I'm going to give 100% of me. Even if I'm weak, even if I'm tired, I'm going to give it all that I have. So remember, take care of you, love on you. Self-care is important. I know I say this in every video. Self-care is important. Love on you. And until next time, please share this video. Somebody out there needs it. Stacy's story is so amazing. And this is only a snippet. I wish we could go on some more, but for time purposes, we want to stop right here. Share this story with somebody. Let them know that they're not alone. There are other people who are going through it too. So take care of yourself and mwah.